Yeah, what up, folks? We back in the building, 2021. You're tuned into the Stitch Sham Show.
Yes.
I am one of the hosts, Sham Phoenix.
And I am the other host, Stitch Early.
Happy 2021 to everyone. As you can see, we have a new setup.
Yeah.
We thought since it'd be a new year, we do some new things.
Exactly.
So we got a new setup. Actually, we got a whole new format for y'all. We hope you guys enjoy it. We gonna get right into it, man. 2021 on January 6th said to 2020, hold my drink.
Yep,
I'm about to show y'all.
Matter of fact, I'm 21 now, so I can drink.
Exactly. If y'all want to see, y'all thought 2020 got off popping. 2020 was like, hold my drink.
Yo, that joint's too funny.
White people lost their minds.
Yep. The Anglos were Saxon.
We've been waiting for it. We've been calling it. We was like, listen, we had our year. 2020 was tumultuous.
Yes.
For
definitely
the black and brown community.
Yeah.
And 2021, the white people were like, we've had enough.
Yo, so the funny thing is, you know, like people always pull up old tweets and stuff. So I don't know if this tweet is true, but this is a tweet that I saw circulating. So, you know, Tommy Lauren.
Yeah.
I guess she had made a post last year, and the post must have said something like, if Donald Trump loses, which she said he won't.
Yeah.
People who are followers of his are gonna go back to work the next day like it was nothing.
Oh, that's what she said.
If Joe Biden loses, prepare for looting. And like basically prepare for looting and pillaging and everything that we saw them do. Yeah. So it's funny that like that tweet coming through from her last year, and it's like somebody was like, yeah, this tweet didn't age well. Nah, not at all.
Because we was at home chilling, looking at these people like
we were home chilling.
Like I was telling some of my coworkers, I was like, it'd be one thing if they were fighting for they feel like they're trying to make it like they're fighting for the rights of everyone. Mm-hmm. But technically, they're just fighting for Donald Trump.
They're fighting because of a L.
Yeah,
like
we were fighting for at the beginning of 20. Well, not really begin like the mid part, like the summer. Yeah, this summer we were fighting for our rights as a people
because of something that we saw happen continuously.
Yeah,
like we were seeing. There was physical evidence. Like they have no physical evidence of any rouge or whatever. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like
they just have Donald Trump's word.
They just have Donald Trump's word. We were actually seeing black bodies in the street.
Like on camera.
Like on camera, video, live, right in front of your face that we had to look at to go, oh, so this is why we need to go out and march.
Yes.
They were literally marching because someone said, yo, I don't think they got these votes right.
Like,
so you don't think that they do. Yeah. Even though your vice president and other people have been like,
oh yeah, it's cool.
Like, yo, like
straight.
They straight. Like this is what's supposed to be happening.
What's going on? So like to see it and and then the thing that I thought was like I was literally, my reaction was as if I was watching a basketball game. And like, so I watched CNN while this stuff was unfolding, and CNN was like, you know what, this is terrible. Yeah. And a CNN correspondent said, a white man on national television said, if this had been black or Muslims or anybody else, the results would have been different. When he said it, if you would have thought that Steph Curry hit a half-court game winner, that LeBron dunked on somebody, I jumped out of bed, pumped my fist like as if I was watching the game. It was like
about time.
Where have y'all been at?
But I think it's
for the last 200 years.
It's the thing that it's almost like, you know, like white people have been late to the party. In the sense of these are things that we've seen for years.
Times.
Like, so even me seeing it, I never thought of like, oh, this is not American, or oh, how could this happen? And I'm like, nah, this is what they do. Yeah, this is what they do. Yeah, you know, the flag that causes so much controversy, which is like the Confederate flag, is a flag that they fly for, of course, the reasons of what it stands for, but you fly it after you took a L.
Yeah,
like you lost.
It
shouldn't be flown. Like there is not a championship banner up that says 2018, 2019 champions Los Angeles Lakers. No, because they lost. Yeah, so they don't put a banner up.
No, you don't get one of them.
If that was the case, the LA Clippers would have mad banners. It's like they don't have no banners because they be losing all the time. You know what I mean? So there are no banners. So it's just, I think even if you take away everything and you just look at, okay, the reasoning for the protest. Yeah. So your reasoning for your protest. Yeah. And it's like, nah, it's not even the reasoning for your protest doesn't even lie in any truths.
It just, at this point, it's like you guys are only fighting for one person. He doesn't care.
He don't, because what's going to happen as soon as Donald Trump, like he said he was going to be there marching with y'all.
He was not.
He was not.
He was nowhere to be. He got out of Dodge.
He was nowhere near y'all. Like he was basically like Kyrie at the Nets game the other night. He was nowhere to be found.
Yo, hold on.
Nowhere to be found.
Wait a minute. His comment was, "I just didn't feel like playing."
Just didn't feel like playing. You know what I'm saying?
No, I ain't gonna listen. I have to put things into perspective. Though,
yeah.
Right? Since we have switched to Kyrie, so
that just popped in my head. Like
I can understand Kyrie. There's some times where I don't feel like going to work. I do, and for them, I think we think because we work regular jobs. To them, basketball is a regular job.
To them, that is their regular job. That's who they get a paycheck by playing basketball.
And so if I can understand, I'm not saying that it's right or that it makes sense, but I can feel them though.
But that excuse. It's like
hilarious.
And what it made me think of is like the tying in both joints is I seen a clip. You remember killing them softly, the Dave Chappelle joint from back in the day, and it was a skit that he had did. He was talking about his friend Chip and how they was speeding.
Oh yeah,
and they get pulled over by the cop, and like the cop's like, "Did you know you were speeding?" And he was like, "I didn't know I couldn't do that." Like, and it's like as a black person, you're like, "What?" You didn't know that you couldn't do that, but like the Kyrie joint of like, yo, I just ain't feel like doing it. It's like, yo, I ain't know that I could just like miss work and just when my boss be like, what was you doing? It's like, I just ain't feel like coming in.
Like, what a world it would be if you could really just do it. Because and that was valid.
Yeah, because we got to be like, oh yeah, I wasn't feeling good. Like we have to come up with excuses of why we weren't there.
And you know what's so crazy? This all like for some reason it all ties in though. Right. So in this day and age, if you were to do that, like to be like, oh man, I can't go, they would be like, take 14 days off.
Yeah. Take as long as you need to not get around nobody here.
Don't bring it. It would be like you wouldn't get just the one day off you needed. You would get a whole lot more days, and then they would be like, bring back your tests.
And let us see that you are scot-free. Right. And even in the sense of like me thinking about it, when people watch this and just seeing us fake cough on the joint, it's like what they gonna do with their mics after?
They gonna clean them? They gonna spray them?
But there's like, that's where we're at today.
Yeah.
You know, and I think like with the mask things, the funny thing is I was like, some of y'all Trumpers, like y'all not really down for y'all cause because y'all had masks on.
They was in there with masks.
so that means
they had the neck jumps.
Man, you're not really down for the cause. You fully masked up out here.
There's so many oxymorons with this protest, right? So first of all, let's start on the outside. Yeah. Right. So these people, every time we talked about Black Lives Matter, they were like, nope, Blue Lives Matter. Yep. And all lives matter and all these things. But for some reason, when they got angry, all that stuff got thrown out the window.
Blue lives ain't matter no more.
They was attacking the police.
They rushed them and everything.
All types of stuff, right? Yeah. So that gets us past the police to the next level. Yeah. The next level is the Capitol building has stairs. Right? You guys have already pushed past the police.
A great amount of stairs.
Why are we scaling buildings?
That was the part that didn't make sense to me.
I didn't understand it at all.
It was almost like a movie. Like, you know, you watch a movie and you see the person and they're trying to like, you know, pick the lock on the door and the other dude done already walked through the other door because it was open to come open the door. It's like, y'all know it's steps that lead up to that.
Why are y'all scaling buildings? I was just looking at the thing like, are they I was like, they do know the Capitol has steps. Why are we scaling?
Stupidity.
It's just too much work.
That's the reason.
Bama's are falling off the wall.
Did you see the Mario joint?
Yes.
With the lady that
I laughed so hard.
Yeah, the Mario joint had me dying.
Oh my god.
She hit them guardrails when she fell. I was like, bet you gonna take them steps next time.
So now they're there. Mm-hmm. They're busting through windows. They're coming through doors. Mm-hmm. And as they're running in, they're screaming USA as if they were breaking into somewhere that wasn't a part of the USA.
This is the USA.
This is the USA.
Like you're breaking into your own house.
Talking about USA.
Like you're breaking into your own house.
And saying, who's home?
like none of it. The other thing people were pointing out was like, it's funny, like when they were leaving, like nobody.
No, they didn't leave the velvet ropes.
They didn't leave the velvet ropes. Like it was a runway.
Like y'all were already disorderly.
Like it was a runway, man. Man.
I just was like, man, this is so weird, man.
But I just couldn't have seen us being able to even get to that point.
You seen who was on the Capitol steps
to that point. Oh yeah, they had the whole National Guard out.
When you guys went down during the summertime.
Oh, we went to the dad gang march.
I guarantee you that there was more security for that than there was for
when we went down, like for the dad gang march, like it was police everywhere blocking certain streets that you couldn't walk down. It was certain areas. Like I couldn't have imagined us walking that day and being able to just walk up there like
because and this is the thing, and this is what I'm going to say to America. I'm going to say this as plainly as I can without sounding racist, but racist white people are the most threatening and the most dangerous people in America.
Oh yeah, 1,000%.
If you look at most of the mass shootings up until this point, they have been Anglo-Saxons. They've been Caucasian people.
Nah, facts. And I think
Caucasian males to better put it into.
And it's the crazy thing is like the dumbest thing about racism and why racist people are stupid. The dumbest thing is because it is made up. Like racism isn't something that was like, it's not a thing. Like and what I mean by that is in the sense of Santa Claus, right? Santa Claus is not real.
No.
There is no dude that comes around and is going in chimneys. I don't got no chimney. Yeah. Like, you know what I'm saying? And passing out presents to the world if you were nice and not naughty. But somebody created Santa Claus, and then what they did is we started telling kids about it. So now it's believed. And now we start selling stuff and now it's believed. So it's the same thing with racism.
It's like you're not born with it.
Yeah, you have one idiot that was like, yo, we shouldn't like them people.
And you shouldn't like them.
And you shouldn't like them. And now I have a nation of individuals who believe this false narrative that someone created. And we're just going to live our lives off of something that ain't even true.
Yeah. Well, and like I always tell people, a lot of racism is built off of stereotypes, right? Mm-hmm. So like, I say black people do this certain thing, and if I don't do that certain thing, then I'm not going to associate with black people. Like,
and I think the hatred is where I feel, because I feel we're all prejudiced to a certain extent, and I think we all have stereotypes that we just automatically like think of. Like my grandfather's Spanish. I don't think it was just innately in him to want to do yard work because he's Spanish, but my grandfather does like doing yard work and he just happens to be Spanish. I like chicken. I don't think that I was born just with predisposed to chicken.
You know what though? That was a tough one because my taste buds it'd be like, they be in conjunction.
But it's good. You know what I'm saying? So it's one of those things that there are those stereotypes or things that we see from certain races. So we kind of put those things on them. Yeah. But I've never looked at another race and been like, I hate you because of the certain stereotype. Yes. And I hate not just you, but I hate all of y'all. Yeah. Because of this stereotype, because this particular race is very good at, like when I watch majority of the spelling bees and things like that, and even there's a joint on Netflix and it talks about the large percentage are Indian as far as in the spelling bees and things like that. And it's something that culturally, like they raise their kids teaching them like how to spell things of that nature. So when I was watching it, I've never looked and been like, man, I don't like Indians. They can spell well. Yeah. Like it's, whereas they look at us and go, oh man, they're fast. They're strong. Oh no, we don't like them.
It sounds crazy.
It's crazy. Like, doesn't it? That sounds nuts.
It does
like,
sound crazy. It's just nuts. Like, even like, I don't dislike white people.
Yeah.
Even though I know the history of what their culture is about.
Yeah.
I just dislike the white people that dislike me.
Facts. 1,000%.
You
You don't rock with me, I don't rock with you.
It's cool.
That's cool. You keep it moving. You could not like me from afar. Like, I'm cool with it. Like, no
just don't
problem.
run up on me.
Exactly. Facts. And then you're going to get that Mario.
You get that twisted T across your chest.
Yo, that joint was crazy.
Hold on. I'm not, listen.
That joint.
I know y'all might think that I have a violent past. But the sound of that can.
That joint was
only
crazy.
because he said nigga like 1,000 times.
He said that like 1,000. Like he's lucky he didn't get hit
immediately.
Earlier.
Yes. So the sound of the can was like, it was like,
man, son.
It was a satisfying sound.
Nah,
and
yeah.
I hate feeling that, like, from 2020 into 2021.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie and say that I have not been affected by it in ways that are outside of myself and my character.
Yeah.
Like, it's only but so much you can take before you just like, hit
him
with the twisted T can.
And I think it's the thing of, I never feel it's a problem. Like, I never have a problem finding joy in the bully being bullied.
Yes.
Like, I never, and I think, so even like going back to last year, like when the Nate Robinson joint happened, I think a lot of people were like, yo, y'all know Nate is the one that like called him out and said that he was going to knock him out.
Yeah.
And now he's laying on the mat. Floor. So it's not so much, Nate did step in the ring. Hey, props for that. But when the bully gets knocked out,
it'd be like,
everybody is like,
well,
yo, you was the one talking crazy. You can't talk crazy and then get smacked across the face with a twisted tea can. I'm going to laugh.
It's going to be crazy.
It's going to be, hey, whatever happens to you, you shouldn't have been talking
and
how you were talking.
He gave him a chance. He was like, man, just leave it alone.
Just get your stuff and go.
No. And he was like, no. He was like, I'm going to keep saying
and he should have knew once he started seeing stuff being put down. I was like, oh, this is about to go bad. This is about to go bad.
And then when he tried to kick the can, I was like, oh, he going to get tore up. He is going to get... I didn't think he was going to actually hit him with the can, though.
Nah, facts.
I didn't think, like, even though he was holding it like he was, I didn't think
I just thought he was going to, like, use that as a distraction and still on him. Like, but, yo, he smacked him with that can.
He rocked him with that can.
And it was nice. It was lights out.
It was super lights out.
And then, that joint was bad.
It's just, and like those, like, so all of that, right? The combination of what 2020 brought and then to come into the new year and to see that, like, okay, you guys watched us march all across the world.
Yep.
And you guys are still trying to pull this mess with the world is unfair to you.
And with there's no merit behind it. Like, I think that's my biggest issue. Like, I've seen people protest on certain things that I may not agree with, but I could look at it and be like, I might not agree with that, but I mean, I could understand why y'all are marching.
Yes.
Because there is some merit. Like, y'all have something to base this off of. But when you're just basing this off of someone saying, I feel I was robbed, but I'm showing you like, nah, 10 people voted and 9 of them voted over there and 1 voted right here. And you like, nah, it had to be 10 that was over this way.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, I'm showing you that this is what it is. So your protest is, there's no fact based in your protest.
And this is the thing, like, they normally say this to women who get men that were married, like they break up marriages.
Yeah.
It's like you lose them how you get them.
Okay, yeah. How you get,
You know,
no, I know what you mean. Yeah.
Type of,
how you get them is how you lose them.
Yeah. And for me, we knew that the 2016 election was rigged. There is actual fact, even though America and the United States government has found some way to just kind of like sweep it under the rug.
Certain things, yeah.
But they have there is
the Russian
clear
like
fact. There was Russian tampering interference with our election in 2016. Yep. How Donald Trump got office. So for the fact that he is crying about what he thinks is some type of
that somebody got him better.
Scheme.
Somebody got him better than he got them.
They did it, and if they did do it, they got him under the radar. They got you under the radar.
What you gonna do? Like,
and now he's crying about an election being stolen from him when he stole an election in 2016.
Yeah. But he loves y'all though.
That's crazy.
But he loves y'all. Like,
when
y'all,
he said we love you,
but he loves y'all.
I was like,
yeah. He don't love us.
No, we SOBs.
He love y'all. We SOBs just for putting the knee in some grass. Like, that's just for putting it, not even saying words, just a knee on grass
Colin
makes you an
Kaepernick
SOB.
never stormed the U.S. Capitol one time.
Like, that was the first thing that I thought. I was like, man, but it was disrespectful to knee and to get the go ahead from someone who's in the military on this is the way that we do this respectfully. This is the way we do this respectfully.
And we can't even call Cap a genius because Cap, this stuff has been happening for years.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like, oh, Cap brought something to light that was not had never been brought to light. Mm-hmm. He was just a forerunner to say, listen, it's going to get worse if y'all guys don't fix this. Yeah. And it has. It's gotten worse.
And 2020 was it getting worse. And then it just
toppled over. So I just think it's funny. I think what we'll see, because it said that Donald Trump will not be going to the inauguration. I don't even know how, because normally
he said that he's not going.
The transfer is a lot different. I think they're going to impeach him. Personally, I know they're in the process of doing it.
So I know that they said, from what I seen on it, because some people were saying, like, because I thought the same thing. I was like, what's the point of impeaching him? He's about to be in there for like 2 more weeks or however many more weeks it is.
But it cancels the benefits that he gets after a president.
It cancels the benefits after, like, security and being able, he can't run again, like all of those. So I was like, oh, okay, I get that.
Yeah. So I think they are really going to push the process to impeach him so that they can cancel the after presidency.
So he can't have any of the benefits of being a president.
Which I think is, I mean, any of us pull
and
anything.
It took all his social media rights.
If I tell somebody, if I gather 20 people, right? And I go to Baker Park and I stand and I give them a speech in the band shell. And then they charge down the
City Hall
to City Hall, or even my regular job. Like they go to the Boys and Girls Club and tear the Boys and Girls Club apart, rip board games, smash tables. I'm not going to be able to go to work Monday.
Nope. And you might not be at your house.
I might not be at my house at all because I'm inside of the riot. So the fact that he's not in jail right now lends to how we treat the presidency, how honorable it is, because they won't even arrest this man for what he did.
Yeah. Donald Trump should be the reason that they go back and they reevaluate what are the things that are needed in order to be a president.
Yes.
Like, we need to go back. We need to go back to the drawing board and say, hey, these are the things that are needed in order to be president. You know what I mean? So so the year, I mean, and coming into the year, I think it was already, we were like, you had a lot of people that were like, man, 2021, new year, it's going to be. And I think we were kind of, when we would have conversations, be like, man, 2021 year, hopefully it's better. Yeah, it's gonna be good. From what 2020 has showed me, I'll wait till it happens to see. And I think it was, matter of fact, it was on the 31st. Yes. I was over at your house and we were sitting just kind of planning out the year, talking about
how we're going to do the show and some other stuff.
So I'm scrolling, and then I see a post and I'm like, nah. So I start doing some research. So now I'm like, I'm on every news outlet. I'm going everywhere. And I'm like, nah, this can't be true. Like, nah, it can't be. Like, there's no way this is false. And, it was reported that not on that day, but it was reported that on October 31st, rapper, innovator, man, it's so many words I could say for him. Producer, artist, MF Doom, had passed on October 31st. So it was kind of, it almost like took the air out of the room.
It did.
Because
we were like really talking, like
we was having a real conversation, and I'm seeing it, and I know I got quiet because I was like, I'm searching because I'm like, nah. Yeah. And so I know for me, it was like a 2-part thing. It's because you have, of course, the person. Yeah. And then you have MF Doom, the artist, and knowing a lot of the different ins and outs behind the persona of MF Doom. It was one of those things that, like, you mourn a person passing, but then you think like all of the stuff that we talked about that day, which was like, man, he passed on Halloween, like the day that everyone wears a mask
in the year of the mask.
Yeah. And then we find out exactly like 2 months later on the same day, of the past. So it's just like all of these things that it's like, if a person had a way to go,
he would have went that way.
Like that in my head would be, and we still don't know why. Yeah. We don't know how. We don't know any of those things because his wife just posted on his IG page. Yeah. So we know kind of some of the details from there. But it was just one of those things that was like just literally like took the air out of the room because it's somebody that we hold in high regard. You know what I mean? For just the things that he has given. You know what I mean?
I always say that Doom is my favorite rapper because of just the like it's his own world. I'm down. I like when people bring me into whatever they're doing. You know what I'm saying?
They're like, not too concerned about everything out. It's
like I don't have to necessarily like relate. You know what I'm saying? Like,
no, I know exactly what you mean.
I'm a fan of whatever you're providing. And for Doom, like when I first heard him, I was like, yo. And Mos Def said it like probably the most perfect way that you can put it. I don't know if anybody's ever heard it, but Mos Def was talking. Somebody asked him, like, what would it be like to write with Doom? And he was like, I think it would be like perfect because he rhymes as weird as I feel. When Mos Def said that, I was like, yo, that's why I like him because his rhyme scheme is as weird as I feel.
Yeah, it's different.
I've never heard anything like him. Like there's been a bunch of Jay-Z clones. There's been a bunch of Wayne clones. Anybody you can think that's like hot at the time. There's been like, but I've never heard anybody that sounds like him.
He's in that. It's certain, like, you know, you have certain people that you put in just like another box.
Yes.
Like ODB is one of them people that's like in another box. For me, like Pharoah Monch is one of them people I throw in another box where it's like, yo, you can't really like
you can't do
that. Like you could try, but you can't. Like it's gonna be known that that's what you're doing.
Lupe's another guy.
Lupe is in that box.
He's not like anything
where
else.
It's like there ain't nothing else. You know what I'm saying? That's like that. So it was one of them joints. I remember coming home like throwing this joint on, and just like rocking out to that joint because the original cover, is like I mean the remixes.
Oh yeah, it's the remix joint.
That's like one of my favorite. That's like one of my favorite album covers, and that joint was actually like some of the inspiration behind the When the Sky Cracks. Like album cover, like we had talked about, like with the hands just being like in the air. You know what I mean? Like so. Yeah,
Doom is one of them dudes. Is just like I don't know, man. Like whenever I listen to him. And like even now, like I used to go on Vox. Sometimes like on some of his dope rhymes, like Figaro and some other stuff, they do the breakdown of the lyrics. Yeah. And like I'm looking at it and like they highlight the rhyming words like in different colors and stuff. And I'll be like, yo, that Jones crazy that he just like
it's like all around.
It sounds like he don't got no air, but he can rhyme like right at
it's like almost on top of each other.
And you be like, how does he do that? Like, it's the same thing I think about Pharoah Monch. Like Pharoah Monch can stop a sentence and start a sentence really, really
like
quick.
Pharoah Monch, like
you know what I'm saying? Like
rhyming like sounds and stuff like that. Because that's what we did the whole trip. Like we was playing Pharoah Monch. Like we was playing.
If y'all haven't seen it, we got the road trip edition of the Stitch and Sham Show. We went to go pick up Stitch's son from Alabama, and when we were riding back, we were just like just listening to our favorite MCs. Yeah. And like I said, Doom is one of those guys that when I got turned on to him, I was like, it was instant instant fandom.
And that's what I was trying to think. I was trying to think. It made me start thinking like when.
Mine was, I'll say.
Because I was trying to think what year it was.
I would have been.
But I think it might have been through To Live that I got turned on to Doom. It might have been through Kweli.
Mine was through Danger Mouse.
Okay.
I picked up, the first album I picked up was the one that him and Danger Mouse did.
Okay, got you.
And I was just like, this is crazy. And then I just scoured the internet for like weeks and weeks and weeks to find. This is when you could burn CDs.
When you could, back when, because I think it was when did the Beautiful Struggle that had Get By on it?
That might have been 08.
So it might have been.
It might have been a little before that.
It might have been it might have been around that because he has a song with Kweli on what is the name of that album? I forget the name of the album, but like I know the song, and he has a joint with Doom.
Yeah.
On it, and I remember hearing that joint and being like, because he like rhymed a boop 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 boop, like it was like a joint like that. He like, and I was like, yo, that joint is tight. Yeah. You know what I mean? So that joint made me kind of like, kind of dive in and actually go back and like listen to some stuff. And then just the whole, I like concepts. Yeah. And you know what I mean? So like with food, like, and it being like all of the tracks, all food items and stuff. Like that type of stuff intrigues me. Yeah. You know, and it's like my favorite albums all have like concepts to them and it's, you know, things like that. So yeah, so that was one of those joints that was just like, of course, any death is out of nowhere for the most part, unless like someone is, you know, military in the war, you know, somewhere that you know, like danger is imminent. Yeah. But that was like, and I think probably too, because we hadn't heard from him in a while.
I didn't even know that he was a part of, because I at the time, probably around 2003 or 2, I would listen to old 90s and 80s hip hop because I was borrowing sounds from that. As a producer, I was borrowing sounds from that music, like getting ideas from that music. And like initially I listened to KMD and Peach Fuzz. And then the Black Bastards album. I listened to all of these things, but I didn't know that it was a correlation.
And because he doesn't sound the same.
No, he doesn't sound like the same at all. He's like he's super young.
His vocal tone is higher in KMD.
Yeah, and then this one is very...
Because like Busta Rhymes had posted a joint from a show. Yeah. And it was KMD and Leaders of the New School. And it was like their logos, and it was like $10 with your ticket, you know, $12 at the door. Like he had posted an old flyer from back then, and I was like, that show was probably crazy.
and you know what's crazy? Because like I was trying to think of how I found out about Doom, and I remember how I found out about him. So I was listening to De La Soul's Grind Date.
Yes, and he's on Grind Date.
He's on Grind Date
because Grind Date, for those who have not like. If you haven't listened to De La Soul, like I remember the car I had when Grind Day came out. Because like Grind Day bumped, like that joint bumped, and it's a joint on there called Church. That joint,
it's good.
It's crazy, but Doom is on.
Doom is on Rock Cocaine Flow.
Yeah, and it's one of the only De La Soul albums that's actually, I think they might have, if you go on most streaming services, they may only have 2 albums up. Yeah, and it might be the last one that they did.
Anything
before Grind Date isn't on there.
Yeah, anything before Grind Date is not on there. They're still in deliberations about getting that, and that is another reason why I really like. When you have to understand the artistry and being able to do what Doom did, he gave us music without ever seeing his face. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like you can look at Zen Love X and be like, oh, I think I know, but you don't know what he looks like right now.
Yeah, you don't. Because it looks like 2 totally different
people.
It's almost in a sense the other person that has that transformation, like if outside of his vocal tone, like when you look at like, for the most part, Jay then looks like Jay now. Yeah. But like Busta now don't look like Busta then.
No.
So like Busta could be a person that could have that type of. Yeah. So with him, he was, you know, a skinny kid. You know what I mean? In KMD. Yeah. And then when he comes back as Doom, he's a little bit, he got his man body.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So he looks like a totally different person, facial hair and everything like that.
And he always made deals where stuff wasn't tied up. Like he didn't have albums tied up. He made music when he wanted to. Like I think a lot of the reason why I also fell in love with Doom was he moved how I want to move.
Yeah.
Like I don't really like all the lights and cameras, even though I'm here. You know what I'm saying? But
even this is like it's within our time of when we want to do it, how we want to do it. Anything. Yeah, it's not somebody standing behind these lights like
shoot these shows.
Next topic.
Yeah. So like it was all of that, and it was just like his voice tone, everything. I was like, yo, this dude is like super dope. So I spent a lot of my time listening to a lot of Doom stuff, King Ghidorah stuff, Victor Vaughn stuff. Like I just would just take in as much as I possibly could. And he was the one person that I was like, if I happened to regurgitate something and someone would just say like, yo, you sound like this person.
Yeah.
Or you sound
it's like, all right, cool.
I'd have been like, yeah, that's what's up.
Like, no problem.
That's cool. Like, because his style is hard to copy.
Nah, facts. Like, you can't just just doing that. Yeah.
You just can't do it.
Like, I feel there's certain other people that you can like mimic.
Yeah.
And then there's certain people it's like, nah, you're not doing that.
You can't do that.
Like, you're not doing that.
You could try.
Yeah. Or you just don't do it.
Yeah. But yeah, so I think like just and even still in my mind, I feel like he's not gone.
Not son. Like, and I think it's the he built up the character so well.
Yeah.
That
it makes everything.
It kind of makes everything. Yeah. To where that's how I felt. I remember saying to you, be like,
I don't think.
I don't know, son. Like, like, you know what I mean? Like,
but they said they confirmed there's a bunch of
like I feel like with his wife putting out what she said, and then even talking about his son, whose name is the same as my son, which was crazy, which I didn't know that joint. Yeah, like, so that joint was crazy. Like those types of things made it a little bit more real. Yeah. In the sense that, so definitely like appreciative for everything that he did while he was here and what he left us. You know what I mean? So if you haven't checked out Doom, if you've never been a fan of Doom, like go check out his music. Is all, and it's, you have MF Doom, you have JJ Doom stuff, you have
Mad Villain,
you got Grim Doom, like you got
Metal Face, Metal Fingers,
Czar, I think Czar Doom. Like, it's like, it's mad joints.
Yeah. Like, you got the joint with him and DJ Muggs.
Yeah, him and DJ Muggs. I think that might be, that's with the group. You got the joint with him and Ghostface.
You got Danger Mouse.
Yeah. So it's like, it's so much stuff to like dive into with, you know what I'm saying?
His instrumental tapes are good too. Those are Special Herbs. And that's another concept thing. Like all of those were named after. Like he's just a talented dude.
Yeah, Joan is super tough. So
like, and just rest in peace, Doom.
Yep, rest in peace, Doom.
We definitely, as artists, we appreciate everything that you
100%
that you brought in. Speaking of bringing things to the table,
yes.
All right, bringing things all the way to the table. We have like, I'm trying to like find the best words to put it. Like, the responsibility, like when you think about all the things that we've talked about up to this point, it's just about the responsibility of oneself, right? To the world. Like Doom was like, listen, I know how y'all want me to do it, but this is how I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna offer it to you this way. Yeah. And then you have other people whom, Donald Trump feels like he's gonna offer something to the world this way. Yeah. Even though it seems like trash to me, it works for other people.
I'm gonna do it how I'm gonna do it.
I think that is a big thing that I want to find in this time frame in this year in 2021 is like what do I offer to the world and how do I bring it in a way that's palatable for the individuals that need it. Yeah. Because sometimes we worry about everybody. We get caught up in like, how do we bring something to everybody?
Or how do we garner more?
Yes.
Like how do we in the sense of like, even for instance with this show, for instance, like we know that there is a certain level of responsibility that you have anytime you're getting on any platform. Yeah. As much as you might want to say like you don't have it, you do, because you're putting something out there for people to either follow or not. Yes. And I think in that, for instance, with our platform, we choose the things that we want to talk about. We choose the things that we don't want to talk about because there's a certain light that we want shined on certain things. There's a certain responsibility that we feel that we have with our platform to be able to utilize it in any way that we are on a soapbox or on front stage to be able to speak to people.
Yeah. And that's why I say the integrity of what you do. And that's why when we talk about the fact that we talked about Donald Trump, right. And the integrity of that man and what he did on January 6th was incite people, right? And then you have another end of the spectrum where we talk about Doom and how he's inspired us, right? And both of these people hold some type of power, right? And it's about how you choose to use it. And when you think about public figures, when you think about community leaders, when you think about all of these different people that add something, entertainers, like we really have to be conscious of what we offer to the world and how we offer it. Because, you know, as a people, we're always looking for inspiration. We're always looking to be a part of something. That's the natural instinct of a human person. It's
what family is.
Yeah, it's to find something to gather and hold to. And when we use our platforms and don't use them correctly and begin to manipulate people and use people, things like January 6th happen.
Facts. Yes.
Right.
Because people, I think a lot of times when people look at inspiration, we just think about the positives. Like inspiration can be a negative.
Oh, man.
You know what I'm saying? So people can be negatively inspired. People were inspired by Hitler.
Yeah.
Like people were inspired. Oh man, that's what I want to do. I want to be just like that. I'm feel exactly how you feel. And if they find somebody to latch on to, that can either be the greatest thing we've ever seen, or it could be the worst thing that we've ever seen, based on the person that you choose to be inspired by.
Yeah, and that's why, especially for this year, thinking about that with all the people that kind of see us in the stream, like, hey, I was watching a show, or you know, I've listened to this, or I've done this, and I really rock with what y'all guys are doing. It's really important for myself to make sure I maintain my integrity. And I'm even talking about behind closed doors when people are not,
when the cameras are off
and people are not wild. Like if you were to talk to my children and to my wife, they would tell you Mark is who he is at home and who he is.
It's the same person that you see.
It's the same person.
It's not like, oh man, I gotta.
Yeah, I'm not switching it up. I'm not toning it. I'm not, you know, picking it up and then dropping it when, you know, when I get home. I just, and I know that not everybody can do things like that.
There are some people that are in positions, and I think even in like Obama's book, he talks about how he becoming president, he ended up becoming something. I may be wording it a little bit differently, but becoming something that he kind of looked down upon. Like he looked, when he came, he's like, I'm not going to be your typical, like, I'm not going to be a politician. And then through having to be president, he ended up becoming a politician.
And he was
you know what I'm saying? And it's like, man, I didn't expect and sometimes you're put in positions to where you have to do that, like you were saying, you know, but the fact of, I think with us not having there's no tie to something telling us what to do.
No.
So we have full reign to do what we want to do. And I think it makes it a little bit easier to function that way and function how we want to function and not have to put on the masks, you know, and things like that. So I know.
Put on the mask. It's funny.
You know what I'm saying? So so for us, it's one of those things that, especially I think in this year for me, like with the Stitch and Sham Show, is even talking about, you know, things going on within the community as we did last year, different topics going on as far as like how women are treated in the community. I know that's one topic probably in the next episode that we're going to talk on in greater lengths. It's just some things going on here in the city. Just dealing with how people abuse their power.
Some heat out there.
And how people, you know, get into positions, and man, it falls right in what you said of the responsibility and your integrity with your platform. You know what I mean? Like, no matter what your platform is, from whether you're the janitor or you're the owner of the company, you have a responsibility. And anytime you're in a position of power, anytime you take that power and utilize that power in a negative way, like even like for me, like I sit back and I think about myself as an adult and how I conduct myself as an adult, opposed to like when I was 13, 14 years old. And there's some things that I think like how I may have talked to women or talked to girls. I don't feel like I was ever disrespectful. But I do feel like I did, and when I was a teenager, I did some questionable things. You know what I mean? Like stuff that as an adult would not be acceptable.
Like like just, you know, talking to a girl from like, hey girl, what you doing? Like
and
what you got
in
on?
Other words,
what you got on?
You know,
like facts. that type of behavior, that hyper sexual behavior.
Where you have like a goal in mind, and it's like I need to just meet this goal.
It's never really about.
It ain't about you. It's about me.
Yeah, it's about me. It's never about you. And as I got into high school and got into a relationship with my wife, which at the time was my girlfriend, and started to understand that, hold up, there's a whole nother, there's a person, there's an actual person behind the body, breasts,
behind the
face,
behind the butt, behind
all of that.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Exactly.
And like,
there's an individual in there.
There's an individual in there.
Yeah.
And to understand that, and then to go into marriage and have to face that. Now, I still hit on my wife. I still say nasty things to her, but that's my wife, and she's okay with it.
It's different.
And I do ask. I do ask sometimes, be like, "Yo, do you feel objectified when I'm hitting on you and things like that?" And she's like, "No,
Whereas for us, I'd be like, objectify me.
I don't care.
I don't care.
You will call me whatever you want to call me.
Just, but you could objectify me.
You could objectify me any day,
you know
right? But thinking about that, right? So thinking about, because of what's been going on, we, I guess because we got a couple minutes, we can just go into it and
and then we'll expound.
Yeah, we'll expand on it
because I feel it is something that needs like
we are, me and Stitch. I wouldn't say heavily a part of the community, but we are a part. We do things in our community quite often.
Yeah.
And it has been brought to light about a situation with one of our one of the city's aldermen, Roger Wilson. At this time, I think probably about 2 or 3 weeks ago, was accused of sexual harassment, and kind of like conduct unbefitting of an alderman. He was called out by another alderman named Ben McShane, and Ben McShane called him out on Facebook. People were they were upset that he called him out on Facebook. But I think people don't understand, like, we receive all of our news
from Facebook,
through social media,
Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok, whatever.
And even if these are allegations, and even though there are facts, things that have come out, like, there's a body of evidence behind it that people don't understand, because they're only taking it from one end, which is the information that was given by Ben McShane. And then Roger has a bunch of constituents and friends that know him, and you know what I'm saying? Like, and we always think that we know a person. I never say that anybody's not above anything, right? Like, I'm not above anything, even though I try my hardest to keep things, but I'm not above anything. Anything can happen.
Anything can happen. And so to just be like, nah,
he didn't do it because I've known him for 18 years. It's not a
and he excuse. Didn't do it. And like, I don't know him to be that person. It's two different things.
It's a totally different thing. So people were, up in arms about Ben McShane coming out and talking about it over social media. But if you understand, so the reason that Ben McShane did that, and I've done my research on why certain things have happened, because like when I get into that mode, I want to understand things. City officials don't have any boss, right? If you're an alderman or you're a mayor,
it's almost like you're an independent
you're
contractor.
an independent contractor to some degree. HR wouldn't handle this type of situation that Mr. Wilson is in. There is no defying body that handles situations like this. He is voted in by the people, so he can only be voted out by the people. So if you have to bring something to the people that can make a difference, where would you go?
You're going to go.
You're going to go to social media,
and that's where the people are.
And that's where the people are, and then the people will take that information and spread it out as.
And like you said, do their research on it.
Do their research on it. See what's what. So for people to be up in arms about Ben McShane calling out something that he had definitive information on. Kind of threw me a little bit, and everyone was like, well, it was a sleazy thing to do, like, but we do it all the time. Like, we're okay if the information isn't partial to somebody we know
or directly connected to somebody that we know. Like when stuff comes out about
Donald
Cardi
Trump.
B or Donald Trump or
whoever, anybody, that information is cool to put on social media,
because I don't know them.
So the thing, and then people got into this thing where they were like, oh my God, what about Roger Wilson's daughters and his wife and all of these things. And I totally understand that. But you have to understand that the women that were affected by this are also someone's daughter and somebody's wife
and somebody's,
this thing about concern and again, like I say,
it can't just be a one-sided thing.
It can't be a one-sided thing. Mm-hmm. This is a two-sided situation. Yeah. And even though Ben McShane did what he did, I totally understand why he did it that way, even if people don't. But holding people accountable, like, the fact that we're getting upset about holding somebody accountable, like I tell people all the time, this wasn't a shot to Mr. Roger Wilson's morals. Yeah, this was a shot to the code of ethics he's supposed to hold as an altar. Now, if he was just hollering at women at Buffalo Wild Wings and he wasn't offering them anything that had to do,
and I think that's a totally
then that's his business.
Then I think it would be more of an issue if it was just like, oh, I saw him doing something. Yes. He was just talking. I know he married, but I saw him talking to another woman. All right, that's different. But when there are people coming and saying like, oh, there's someone in a position of power that said they can do something for me. Yeah. If I did something, then they could help me get some power. Oh, yes. I think that's a whole different thing because it's almost like you're now utilizing your position in order to gain something from others. Yep. And I think that's when the issue comes in.
Yeah, because I'm not talking about your morals. We're not talking about the morals. Yeah, the morals is something for you to handle.
Yeah. You
know what I'm saying? The morals or how you conduct yourself outside of your job is your business. Yep. But when you are holding a place of office and using that place of office to solicit, then that's a whole
I think
nother
that's
thing.
When it becomes the problem. Like it would be in the sense like, you want to be a guest on the show? Oh, if you want to be a guest on the show, if you do X, Y, and Z, then we'll make sure we guest spotlight you on the. That's different from just hey, what's up? Hey, exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like these people have, like, for instance, even with the current president of the United States, his situation with Stormy Daniels would have been just his situation, right? Yeah. Yep. But he took it into his presidency and then used his presidency to basically kind of flip the story on Stormy.
Yeah. So then when stuff goes further, now it's on you because you could have had it a certain way, but once you utilize your position or whatever office you're in or whatever title you have in order to get something from someone. And then to give them something, then that changes the landscape of everything.
And the reason why I talk about these things is because these are things that are going to, if not with Harvey Weinstein, right? Like getting the jump start on situations like this and how it unfolded. These are with racism and gender equality and things like that. These are issues as old as time.
Nah, facts.
Right. And just now in these last 2 years, are we starting to actually start to deal with them?
And see, and it's really because I think in years previous, I think we've seen it more at a ground level.
Yes.
It's the drug dealer on the corner. Yeah. Whereas in the past couple years, it's the connect. Yep. Oh, we finding the connect now. Is so we not even so now I think when you get it to when you're seeing the heads of studios and the people that we've looked at for years and like, y'all watch this dude every morning. Like he pretty much run the network. And you start to find out it is that person. Then when it was the kid that was just running errands, you know what I mean? It didn't matter then because we could just fire him and sweep it under the rug.
I'll give you a good instance of have you seen the interview with Fat Joe and Rosie Perez?
Nah.
Okay, so Fat Joe is asking Rosie Perez about Do the Right Thing and all the movies that she did with Spike Lee. And he was talking about the sex scene. Yeah. And how compliant was she with the sex scene. Yeah. And Rosie Perez said, I didn't want to do the sex scene. I was, talked into it, like, and the whole time it was uncomfortable and I did not want to do it, and so on and so on. Well, as we know, she ended up doing the scene, but she said she was totally uncomfortable, and basically kind of called out Spike Lee a little bit, like
it was probably one of those things where like, yo, if you want to be in this movie,
this is what you got to do.
You got to do. You want to get your career popping type of. So it's like, and I'm pretty sure it's happened countless times.
Oh, man.
You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure it's happened on so many different occasions. So I think a lot of times we don't really pay attention to it until it hits home. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, this is happening in my city.
It's been filmed on, it's like on TV. Think about how let's just look at Love and Hip Hop. I've thought about 1,000 examples of this and been like, man, this joint's kind of weird.
Yeah.
So Rich Dollars and Erica Mena, right? Rich Dollars did a lot for Erica Mena after what? After they was together, after they was sleeping together and doing stuff together. Then like this, the industry is like that.
Nah, facts. Yeah.
Right. And whenever you get a level of power, there will be some sexual deviancy. Is that the word?
Like
deviancy.
Deviant. So deviancy.
Element to it. Right. And so when the news comes out about this local alderman, or I guess he's a politician to some degree, right? You know, the stories that are being dished out is like, oh, wow. Like people know, people understand what's going on. People understand this. For the amount of people who don't understand,
there's probably a large group that
there's a large group of people that are like, no, he's like that.
Yeah, like this is exactly what it is. Like, I mean, we seen it. Like, I worked at the Jefferson School. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it was one of those things to where for people who wasn't there,
they would be like,
they might look and be like, huh? Whereas
there's enough information that's coming out.
It's like, oh, sound about right.
And that's the thing that I think is more disheartening is that for years, a lot of this behavior has been tolerated. It's like, oh man, it's just the way that person is, to the point that some of the people that were involved in this situation actually are working, still working for the city, or still in local and community politics, and have to alter how they move to kind of work around. Yeah,
because sometimes livelihood and things of that nature take precedent. Over even what
like
you
how I feel as a person.
You feel as a person and what you may have went through, and you'll have. So there's the understanding. There's like the two ways that I think is like, man, why you ain't just say nah?
Yeah,
that's the easy way. You know what I'm saying? But then when you think about a person that's like, I got people I got to take care of. And I just got to do. All right, let me just go ahead.
It's you know what I'm saying? Slippery slope,
it's that. I don't know. You know what I mean? It's like you said, a slippery slope where you have to. It's not just a cut and dry type of thing. You know,
I've always said that sexual assault might be one of the most confusing crimes to a victim. Yeah, because
I agree.
I remember, and again, I'm not saying that Mr. Wilson raped anybody or anything like that. There was just some misconduct that was reported. This will come out in the news for people who are local. You can read about it. For people abroad, you can read about it. Just more in the general context. I read something where a young lady was talking about her being sexually assaulted, being raped, and in her mind, she was trying to because the body sensors were saying.
Sex feels
good
to your body,
but her mind was saying, "I don't want this, and this is not what I want." And that for days after it, she was processing to herself, "Why was I Why was I enjoying it? Yeah. Why was my body enjoying it when my heart and my mind was saying?" No, this is not.
And I think as dudes, we've seen just not even being sexually assaulted, but just on the random where it's like, why am I hard right now?
Yeah.
Like I'm not trying to be.
Yeah.
Like, but,
and it's just,
you know what I'm saying? Like in that sense where your mind and how your body operates just off of touch.
Yeah.
And what your mind is doing sometimes, you know what I mean? It's that spark that don't quite click where I'm pretty sure it is a confusing thing. Of wondering that, you know.
Yeah, and definitely. I think that was like the craziest thing because even for some of these ladies whom had these encounters from the information that I took in, a lot of them were confused because they were, they go home and they thinking like, was it the way I was dressed? Did I do something that
they automatically point to them like
they automatically point back to themselves like did I send a cue that I didn't know I was sending?
And it's like sometimes it could be that, and then but more times than not it's probably just the person that you was dealing with. Like,
and so these type of things made me think about that situation and again because I have I know both of us have daughters and because I have a daughter. It makes me think about that. It makes me think about how I conduct myself around women. How, you know what I'm saying? Again, like I said, nobody's perfect. And then sometimes people take things
like
you said, they're taking that cue. You didn't mean to give that
like that might not even have been. I've been at jobs. I remember I worked at this one job, and I remember there was a lady that worked there. She had blonde hair.
Yeah.
Remember, she cut her hair and dyed it black. Yeah. And remember seeing her be like, "Oh yeah, you changed your hair. It look nice." It was a drastic change, so I noticed it. In her mind, though,
she took it as
that meant like, "Oh snap, he trying to holler at me."
And he was like, "No, I'm just complimenting your hair."
And so through other people, I found out like, "Oh yeah, she might be interested in you." And I was like, "Oh no, I'm good. I saw her hair was blonde and went to black."
That's it.
Like,
That's all.
That was all it was.
Yeah.
So I do understand just how just certain social cues of someone complimenting you or things, and it doesn't even. I think oftentimes when we think of those things, we automatically think it has to be like, "Oh, you killing it today? Or you looking?"
Yeah,
and it could just be simple as like, "Oh, you cut your beard. Oh man, that's nice."
Yeah.
And some dude might take that as like, "Oh, she feeling me."
She like the 5 o'clock shadow.
And it's
like, no, dog.
It's like, nah,
dog.
She don't care about you at all. She just noticed you didn't have a beard no more.
That's all.
Like that was it.
Yeah. So, those type of things. And it just made me like think about those things.
Yeah.
And, I mean, just in conjunction with everything that's taking place up until this point and the cancel culture and
the
all
fact
these
that
things.
We're only 9 days in? 10 days.
10 days.
We're only 10 days in.
And you just be like, man, 2021 might be another one.
Yeah.
It might be another one of those years. So,
and we shall see.
Yeah, we shall see. Again, man, we thank y'all guys for tuning in. We try to switch some things up for 2021.
Yes.
This is episode 39 of the Stitch Sham Show.
Yes.
If you want to see any other episodes, you can go to YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
Our YouTube page is youtube.com/UHRISE. If you go there, please subscribe, check out the videos. We got tons of stuff there for you. If you also can go to the Patreon, which is patreon.com/UHRISE, and that's UHRISE. And you can also go to arisemusic.com and check out projects from me and Stitch. We also have a joint project there called Black Gold by the Arise Collective. Yes. I think we might start dropping. We need to either drop our Venmo or
so we're gonna put our Venmo or Cash App
on the bottom of the screen.
Bottom of the screen.
If you see that, you're always welcome to donate. Again, a lot of what we do is based upon your support. So, and
we'll have we're getting everything ready for it to be uploaded to Apple, for it to be uploaded to Spotify, so that you can actually listen on the move. So we're trying to get those
Amazon
things.
just bought
I saw that.
Yeah, Amazon just bought a podcast company.
So they're gonna
now they'll be able to also stream podcasts.
So we're gonna be doing it to where we're able to put it on different streaming services, so you can listen on the move for those of y'all that can't watch.
Yeah.
But definitely excited about what the year has a store. We are currently working on a website to where you can get everything there. You'll be able to purchase some of the new merch that we've designed, the albums, any music that we put out. You'll be able to get everything there, and also view whatever the new episodes are and things like that. I also want to say thank you to everybody that wished me a happy birthday
3 days ago.
What I'm saying 3 days ago. Thank y'all.